Angela Myers here to elevate your mind, body, and spirit. I'm going to share with you today a model that's going to help you to know what you should care about and what you should not care about. We care about a lot of things, but some of them completely strip you and void you of your personal power, and some of them become catalysts for you to become more powerful. So I'm going to break this down for you. The first thing you need to understand is a model by Steven Covey. So check this out. You have a circle, and inside that circle is everything that you're concerned about. That's the weather, the political environment, your job, your boss, your health, your kids, your finances, all the things that matter to you that you do give an F about are in this circle. Now, in this circle, some of these things you literally can do nothing about. Like, you have to surrender to the fact that they're beyond your control and there's nothing really you can do to change it. For example, can you change the weather today? No. Can you change who's president today? No. Can you change what your neighbor thinks about you? No. These things are outside of your circle of control. The problem is many of us start to change our focus and direct our focus to those things, and then we become aware of how powerless we are, and we feel small and we feel insignificant, and our worry and our energy starts to go out there, and we have none left to focus and channel on the things we actually can do something about. Inside this circle, beyond the realm of things that we can do nothing about, we have a tiny circle inside, which is the things you can actually do something about. And if we're really honest with ourselves, the things that you actually have direct control over are pretty much yourself. Your actions, your habits, your choices, your mindset, your feelings to an extent, the way you treat other people, those are the things that you actually can truly control. So for example, at work, can you control what your boss thinks about you? Can you control the changes in your company? Can you control who your coworkers are? No, but you can control the quality of the work that you give, the amount of effort you give, the attitude you show up to work with, the way you treat people there, and the way that you would like to grow as a professional, the amount of investment you put into yourself. Think about all those things. If you focused your energy and channeled your energy into the things you can actually do something about, what happens is magical. You begin to expand that circle of things you can actually influence and control. If you start showing up in your own power, taking charge of yourself, focusing on the things that make you expand and grow. So I'm going to show you today ways using this model that you can bring yourself back into focus anytime you start to feel worried or anxious or concerned about stuff that you really actually have no control over. Okay, so number one, when something pops onto your radar that sparks a feeling of concern or a pop of anxiety or something that, you know, the feeling that happens in your body when it's like, whether it's something you see on your phone, something flashes on the news, something comes up in your email, something that kicks that off for you. The first thing to do when you feel that is to ask yourself if there's something you can actually do about it. If the answer is no, the discipline is to retrain your mind on what you can actually do something about. If the answer is yes, actually there is something I need to do about this. This is why I feel worried about it. If it takes 2 minutes or less, you just need to do it right then and there and pop that thing off your radar, and you're clearing your energy again. If it takes more than 2 minutes, you need to write that down somewhere on an actionables list. So that helps to clear out our energy and keep it from going to things that are either hanging over us in a pervasive sense of reminders, nagging anxiety, which kind of is a little bit of procrastination mixed in there, and helps us to put our energy back into things that are in front of us that we can actually do something about. So tip one is to ask yourself, when something pops on the radar, is this something I can actually control? If the answer is yes, take action immediately. If it's longer than 2 minutes, write it down. If the answer is no, redirect to inside that circle of what you actually can control. Tip number two, guard your focus. Meaning, okay, say you're trying to get control and you're trying to focus more of your energy on stuff that you can actually do something about, but you have things in your life that continue to draw your focus to things you can't control. This could be social media, this could be the news, this could be people around you that are constantly bringing up things that nobody can do anything about, complaints, right? If you want to really take control of your focus, you need to put some boundaries around that and guard your focus. That might be stepping away from the news for a week, or maybe only letting yourself watch it once a week to catch up. That may be blocking the pop-ups on your phone of little things that grab your attention and to draw your focus away. That may be limiting time with people or redirecting conversations that are getting to stuff that nobody can do anything about and just makes us feel crappy. I'm going to give you an example, and this might be a little bit touchy, but let's take the issue of starvation, which is the number one cause of death in globally. Millions. I believe the last number I checked was 9 million a year. If I focused on that issue and I felt so bad about it, and we're talking about how terrible this is, and look at these children, and oh my gosh, and we're doing all this stuff, I can't control 9 million people. I can't control what's happening 10,000 miles away or whatever country that's happening in. So my focus and my energy and my negative energy of like injustice and anger and concern is being dissipated into an area that I can do nothing about. If I focus on that circle of what I can actually control, could I choose to adopt a child or sponsor a child? Yes. And I can take action on that. And I can write that down in my calendar. And that's put me back in a place of power, of focusing on what I actually can do. Or maybe I want to contribute money to a fund. Or maybe I actually want to go over to a country and be involved in a service project where I can donate my time or my money or resources or something like that. That's pulling you back into that circle of what can you actually do about it. The rest is garbage. It doesn't help to feel sad for other people. It doesn't help to think about them, to focus on the problem, to feel terrible about the problem. That helps zero people. It doesn't help yourself. It doesn't serve the world. What serves the world is you drawing your attention back to your power circle and taking action on that. So step 2 is to control the sources that are also influencing and directing your energy to places possibly that you can't control. Whether that's people, social media, news, whatever else is in your life that's pulling your focus away to stuff that you can't do anything about. Guard that. Here's tip number 3. Be committed to your goal, but flexible in your approach. Say we're looking in that circle of things we can actually do something about, and one of them is our health. And we're committed to start doing workouts. And then something happens beyond our control, meaning maybe we sprain an ankle, or maybe the gym closes, or maybe the schedule changes and it doesn't work with the hours that you wanted to go to the gym. Okay, so in your circle of control, you can't control those things. They happened. Back into your circle of power, what can you do to be flexible in your approach? Meaning, so if the goal is for you to regain control of your health and now your ankle's sprained, does that mean you just completely blew it? See, I try to do something and it never works out. Or does that mean now we're flexible in the approach, maybe I need to get in the pool. Maybe I can work my upper body and my core. Maybe I can get on a bike and that won't hurt my ankle as much. Maybe I want to take this month while my ankle heals and really focus on my nutrition and get that cleaned up. In other words, when we stay focused on what we can control, we produce solutions. And staying in that realm of being committed to the goal, but flexible in the approach, we need to be creative and resourceful in that realm, which we get that energy by staying focused on what we can control. Again, it's like a sieve when you start to let it go outside to things that you can't do anything about. All the energy goes out. Then how are you going to create energy? How are you going to have the energy to be a creator and to make solutions and to think of resources in other ways when you've dissipated all that great energy and you're drained because you were focused on something you're complaining about, a problem on the news, a problem with someone else's lifestyle choices, all that stuff. How can you have the energy to be creative and resourceful within yourself? So number 3, be committed to your goals, to the things inside your circle of control, but flexible in the approach, meaning when things come up that affect that are beyond your control, now we're going to focus back here. Well, what can we actually do about that? Let's be flexible. Let's be committed to what we want, but let's be flexible in how we get that. And the last tip is to ask yourself empowering questions. Those start with the word how. How can I make this happen? How can I reach my goals? How can I create more energy for myself? How can I create more health for myself? Those sorts of things that usually start with how generate solutions for us and keep us in our circle of power, meaning things we can actually do something about. When we ask ourselves why, boom, we're automatically out to things we can't control. Why did this person treat me this way? Why didn't I get the promotion? Why did this happen in the world? Why do bad things happen? Those are things that they don't ever have satisfying answers, and they're a waste of emotional and mental resources, and they lead you to thoughts and feelings that are typically negative. You usually don't have an amazing answer to a why question. Why didn't I get the promotion? It's usually something like, because the boss likes that person better. Well, that doesn't feel good. Or because I'm not good enough and I never have been. It just leads you down the wrong trail. So another tip to staying inside that circle of power is to ask yourself empowering questions. Learn how to do that. Put them on your phone if you have to. Think about it when you catch your mind asking a disempowering question. Draw you back into the circle of power by saying how. How can I make this fun and enjoy the process? How can I create a better solution? How can I improve myself in this area? How can I gain more health? How can I gain more energy? How can I be a better husband? How can I be a better wife? How can I be a better parent? How? Those sorts of things kick off fantastic answers from your brain. Maybe not immediately, but if you sit in that question and start asking enough, your brain starts to actually reprogram the way that it looks at things and begins to start to look for solutions rather than the problems. So a couple of tips to help you stay in your circle of power, stay focused on things you can control, and let go of all this stuff. Just to, first of all, admit that you don't have control of it, and then just let it go. It doesn't serve the world or yourself to be focused on things that you really can't do anything about. I hope this impacted you in a way that's energizing and makes you feel empowered and helps you want to take control of your life. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'm going to continue to provide you with great information that's going to elevate your mind, body, and spirit.